How rare you are, part 2. Only 2% of people naturally have blonde hair. And if you narrow it down just to white people in the United States, that percentage goes up to 5%. Less than 1% of people have this small little hole right on their ear. Some evolutionary biologists claim this used to be a gill on humans. 35% of people have no wisdom teeth. Wisdom teeth used to serve a purpose, but they no longer serve a purpose in us, which is why we take them out a lot of times so they don't get infected when they're pushing through your gums. And if you don't have wisdom teeth, I'm jealous of you. 20% of people are double jointed. This is thought to be genetic and due to a variation in collagen in your connective tissues. Less than 1% of the people in the US have AB negative blood. And believe it or not, there's something called golden blood, which only about 40 people in the world have, and it's completely different than any other blood.
Mind-blowing cases of reincarnation, Part 20. Carl Eden was born on December 29th, 1972 in Middlesbrough, England, and was around 2 or 3 years old when his mom noticed him drawing eagles and swastikas. Also around this time, he had nightmares where he said his leg was missing after a plane crash. As he got older, his nightmares got more vivid, saying that the engine of his plane died, so he tried to open the hatch to get out, but couldn't because his right leg was gone. Something kinda strange is that Carl had a long red birthmark on the top of his right leg. Carl's dad showed him a picture of a plane's cockpit, and at 6 years old, he was able to identify every lever and gauge in detail, including the one that drops bombs. When his parents questioned him about everything, he claimed he was in the Air Force and could explain the exact uniform he wore and the exact model plane he flew. Carl tried to convince his family for years that he lived a past life, but was tragically murdered at the age of 22 in 1995. A few years later, researchers uncovered the body of a man named Heinrich Richter, whose plane crashed 200 yards and 53 years prior to Carl's death. Some people think they look a lot alike, which they kinda do. But it was discovered in the excavation that Heinrich's right leg had been severed in the wreckage.
People that survived absolutely crazy events, Part 1. This right here is Seth MacFarlane, and he's the creator of Family Guy. However, one day he came extremely close to death. And if he wasn't hungover, you wouldn't have the Family Guy that you know and love. Seth MacFarlane was set to get on a plane to New York. However, he had been drinking the night before and got hungover in the morning. He was so hungover that he forgot he had a flight that day. His agent then called him and said, "You do realize you have a flight at 7:45. He got out of bed as quickly as he could because he only had 45 minutes to get there. But then of course he got stuck in traffic. And then when he got to the airport, they wouldn't let him on the plane because he was too late. He begged saying, "Let me on, you don't know how important this is," but they wouldn't let him. And shortly after that plane he was supposed to get on crashed into one of the Twin Towers.
I just learned about something really weird and obscure, and I need to talk about it.
Back in 1982, this dude Byron published this book, The Secret, A Treasure Hunt, that literally has clues for a treasure hunt.
He buried 12 treasure boxes around the United States and Canada, and as of October 2019, only 3 have been found. The book has the rules for the treasure hunt, as well as 12 custom illustrations and 12 verses. You match up a verse with an image, and that gives you the clues for the city that the treasure is in and where exactly in the city that treasure is buried. People have connected image 1 and verse 7 to being San Francisco. So they think that one of the treasure boxes is buried in Golden Gate Park in San Francisco. And this is also the case for Charleston, Roanoke Island, Cleveland, Chicago, St. Augustine, New Orleans, Houston, Montreal, Milwaukee, Boston, and New York. But here's the thing. Byron died in 2005 and didn't tell anyone where they are. Let me know if you want to.
What insane stat lives in your head rent-free?
That 98% of your life is controlled by habit. Makes you think twice about what free will is, right? This is your mind. You have something called a subconscious. And in here, you can only accept information. This is where your programming is. And some people have a program called smoking. Some people have a program called poverty. Some people have a program called success and happiness. Some have a program called wealth. And your environment has more to do with your programming than does your genetics. You are programmed to live the life that you live. If 98% of your thoughts, feelings, and actions are habitual, that means that the habit or the paradigm that controls that habit controls everything in your life. And if you want to change your life, you've got to learn how to change that paradigm. Follow me for more.
Hi, so this is unlike anything I ever really post, but I thought it was really important and that I needed to share. Last week, my friend and I were on a road trip from Florida to Nashville, Tennessee, and we stopped at a gas station. It looked like a nice place. I parked right up front, and whenever we came back out, I saw that there was a note taped to the driver's seat window of my car. When I saw it, we immediately ran back inside and called the police. Thank God I had seen Facebook posts before this that had said, if anything's on your car that's not supposed to be there, it's usually used as a distraction so somebody can come and grab you and take you God knows where. So the police came, they checked out my car. We read the note. I will not be saying what's on the note because my video would literally have to be taken down. A couple days later, we got a call from the detective, and he had said that the guy who put the note on my car was actually parked right next to me, but when he watched us run back inside, he drove away. If something feels off, it probably is. Stay safe, and please share this with your friends and family.
Made sure he wasn't still out here. When I came back out here, there was a water bottle on my hood.
I'm going to leave her information below so you can see the original video, but basically what happened was she was followed by a man, and then when she came back to her vehicle after seeking out help, a water bottle was left on the hood of her car. This is a tactic used by traffickers and kidnappers to get you to exit your vehicle and take whatever is on top of the car off. If you have this happen and something is on the hood of your car when you come back to it, leave it there. Drive away, it'll fall off on its own. If you feel extremely threatened by the person that was bothering you, drive to a police station or to an auto body shop. They can look underneath your car and see if there are trackers there. Yes, believe it or not, GPS trackers can be put on the bottom of your car and they can give off your location for a certain amount of time. Never go straight home. Traffickers don't care how old you are, they don't care what you're wearing, they don't care about your size. If they want you, they'll try to get you. Always be aware of your surroundings. Try to go shop with a friend. I know it's hard during COVID. Keep pepper spray or a protective device on you. Ladies, stay safe and like and follow for more safety tips.
This one's for the girls, and I'm going to show y'all something that can literally save your life. Okay, so this year for Christmas, my parents got me this, and what it is it's a bracelet, and it's called Invisaware. Can't really see. But so basically you can put this bracelet on, and if you has a button on the back, and if you press it twice, then it will, like if you're in a bad situation, and of course usually someone would probably take your phone if they were going to kidnap you. So, but you would have this bracelet, so you can press the button twice and it will notify the police and your emergency contacts that something's happened to you. So pretty much the app looks like this, and you just can click any of these two and they will come. Like you can go on the app and do this as well if you need any extra help. But when you press your button, this will come up on your app, so if it's a test, you can put in the passcode and it'll immediately go away and it won't notify anybody. So basically you have 15 seconds after you press the button until the police are notified. They also have them as scrunchies and they have necklaces, so...
An 11-year-old boy in Oklahoma had gone missing. After 24 hours of searching, police came up with nothing and decided to put together search crews with local members of the community. One of these groups was led by an elderly man named Stephen. As soon as the search began, Stephen seemed to know exactly where he was heading, and his team followed. Within 25 minutes, Stephen had led his team directly to the boy, where they found him safe but freezing. EMTs had stated that it was only moments before the boy would freeze to death, and that Stephen was an actual hero. Police grew suspicious of how Stephen knew exactly where the boy was and wanted to bring him in for questioning. He was no longer the hero, but now the suspect. Police wanted Stephen to come in for questioning immediately. Problem was, Stephen was nowhere to be found. One of the members on Stephen's team happened to be wearing his GoPro and brought the footage to the police. Police brought it to the family, hoping they could identify the man. And they did. They identified Stephen as the boy's grandfather, who had passed away 2 weeks earlier.
This is a real life expectancy test. If you struggle with it, you may be as much as 5 times more likely to die in the next 6 years as the folks that do this with ease. So let's see how you do.
Cross your legs and sit down without using your hands, and then stand back up without using your hands.
This is why you should always check under your bed for monsters. In 2012, a young woman who was on the phone with her boyfriend walks downstairs to the lobby of her apartment building, collects her mail, and then heads back up to her room. She sits on her bed to start sifting through the mail when she drops her phone and it falls under the bed. She lies down on the ground to try to reach her arm out to grab her phone when she notices something horrible underneath her bed. A man is lying underneath her bed with his back to her. He's in the fetal position. She manages not to scream. She grabs her phone and says to her boyfriend, "Hey, I gotta go shower, I'll call you back." And she quickly runs into the bathroom, locks the door, turns on the shower, and then jumps out her first floor window. Once she's safely across the street, she calls the police, who quickly arrive, and they go inside and they come out with a deranged, skinny-looking man. Before they take him away, one of the officers walks over to her with a very grim look on his face. He looks at her and he just says, "We found him standing outside of your bathroom holding a knife. He was waiting for you."